In this lecture, we're going to learn about selection control structure, which is chapter 4 of this subject. So when you write your program, you usually use some types of control structure, and this control structure determines the flow of your program execution, like how each line is going to be executed. Basically, there are three types of control structure: sequential, selection, and repetition. And what you have done in the previous lab is sequential control structure, which means you have a series of statements that are executed one after another. So statement 2 is executed after statement 1, statement 3 is executed after statement 2, and so on until your program reach the return 0 that terminates your program. Another type of control structure is selection control structure. So in selection control structure, you have branch. If you look at this flow chart, okay, this is a flow chart for selection control structure. You're gonna need conditions. Okay, so basically, when the condition is true, you can execute a set of statement. And then if the condition is false, you can execute another set of statements, or you can just skip everything. So if you look at the definition, selection control structure is used to execute one set of statement if a given condition is true. So if a given condition is true, you execute one set of statement, and then a different set of statement or no statements at all is executed if the condition is false. So if the condition is false, it's either we can execute one set of statement, another set of statements, or we can just skip the whole thing. Okay, no statements at all. Another very useful control structure in programming is repetition or loop. In repetition, we also have condition, and we use repetition to execute a set of statement repeatedly over and over again until the condition is false. So you keep repeating this statement as long as the condition is true, and you stop the loop, stop the repetition when the condition is false. So this condition, the value of the condition has to change, otherwise the loop never stops. So these are the three types of control structure. Sequential. In sequential control structure, you don't have any condition. You just in your program, you just execute one statement after another. But in selection control structure, we can have a branch. We can have branches, and you're gonna need a condition, which is the statement in the diamond shape, right? In the condition, what we put in the condition is Boolean expression that we will learn later. And then in repetition control structure, we can repeat a certain statement over and over again. And how long does we repeat this statement? As long as the condition is true, or as long as the Boolean expression is true. So why do we need to use selection control structure? Why can't we just use sequential control structure is much simpler, just one statement after another. Well, this is because sequential control structure, your program cannot make any decision. But when you have selection control structure in your program, it allows your program to choose. It allows your program to make a decision based on the condition. Condition is I said before, condition is what we put in the diamond structure that determines whether the value is true or false. So one example that you're gonna need, example of program that you would need selection control structure. So let's say you are building a program that need to check a password before a user can use the program. So your program need to decide whether the user is allowed to access the program. You will only allow the user to use the program if he or she has the right password. So in this example, the condition would be whether or not the password is a valid password. So in selection, okay, or whenever you use a condition is evaluated to be either true or false. So in the previous example, if the password is correct, then your condition should be true. And if the password is incorrect, then the condition should be false.